Here we have a Porter cable pancake compressor that I really like, but unfortunately the regulated pressure knob isn't working anymore. Something seems to have gone wrong inside of it, and we're going to see if we can't fix this today. I did do some searching on YouTube before, found some fixes for that, but I'm going to give you my solution to the fix. Here we go. So first thing, got to take off this compressor. There's a little screw down here. Take that out, and that'll pop right off. Then we go, and this right here is the adjustable regulator. We'll take that off, like so. And you'll see that you got a big spring in here. All right. Okay, so in here we have the actual regulator. There's a little plastic piece in here that kind of goes bad on these things. So now we just want to pull that out. Yours is going to look different because this is actually, I've kind of got my fix on this already, but we'll show you. Okay, so what I have here is the actual regulator. I'm going to take this thing apart so you can see kind of what it looked like to begin with, all right? All right, so what you typically have here is this is your plastic piece that goes right in here in the regulator. Mine busted. As you can see right here, this little black piece came out. So what I've seen on YouTube before is just kind of try to get that thing in there and see if you can't fit that back through the other way, which I tried to do. So I tried to push that in, get it, kind of fits pretty good, but unfortunately with the pressure of this right here, along with the tension on this spring, it bounced right back out again, and it came basically pushed right back through. As you can see, didn't hold, so that was not going to be a solution. Thought maybe I could glue that in there. Didn't seem to be a solution either. So what I ended up doing is taking a little screw, 2 little hex nuts, and 2 little washers to make my own little pin here that will fit inside this regulator. Only a couple bucks or so to fix that, instead of paying online for potentially you know, 45 bucks or whatever they charge just for this, to get this little stupid plastic piece here. So let's go through the process here, all right? So what I'm ending up doing here is you might want to test this out first. So what we have here is our little bolt. Put a little hex nut on there, screw it up tight, up towards the top. Leave a little bit of distance there. It's about a 1-inch screw here. Take a little teeny washer. What you're also going to want to do in here too is make sure that this is all really flat. So whether you get a little scraper or something to flatten that out. So that's all flat in there. Then we have our washer. You can see here, washer, hex nut on top of this little screw here. Do the same thing on the other side. And tighten that down. Okay. This is a little loose at the moment here, but you kind of get the idea. So what we're trying to do is recreate the little nipple that's on the end here as well, so that we'll have that for our regulator to push in. So what I have here is I got it pretty centered right now, so you can kind of see how that looks on both sides. This is metal, so it's not going to crack like this is right here, and with these washers I haven't had any problem yet. There is just a tiny bit of an air leak with this solution right here. I mean, you can winch this down as tight as you want, and there'll still be a little hiss. It'll be okay while you're doing it, and you'll hear just a really faint, potentially a little faint leak. So over time it's going to leak. So what I'm going to do today is use a little bit of epoxy here. I'm going to epoxy this on the bottom here so that it doesn't have any leaks going through. All right, so I'll be right back with that epoxy. Okay, so here I'm mixing up my epoxy. Take a little bit on the back side here. I'm just gonna take away about a little, get rid of as much on the outside as I can. All I want is just that little bit right along the edge there. That's what I'm shooting for. Okay, so I kind of got my epoxy on there. Now, come back through again, on this side. Put on my nut, my bolt. Take my bolt then. Get that on. So now, I'm just trying to work on getting this thing centered. It looks pretty centered to me. We'll also just make sure that the spring isn't going to interfere with anything in there. And you're going to want to kind of get a washer that's big enough that the spring will sit on. You don't want to get something too tiny that the spring can't somehow sit on it, because you don't want that to kind of be wobbling on top of that. So I got a washer that's just big enough that'll fit on top of that. So that's how our mechanism is going to go back in once this is all completely dry. All right, so I've cleaned this off good. I'm going to let it dry, and then make sure you get all the epoxy that you have on there. If you want to use some glue, make sure that's all off. If you want to try some other kind of glue, you can. But that's what I'm going to use here today, and we'll see how this turns out in a little while. I'll let that dry and we'll be back. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes. It says that's how long this epoxy takes to set, and I think we've got it pretty set right now. So now what we're going to do is take this little regulator, that would be this little plastic piece that we fixed with our own washers and hex nuts and a little screw here. Fit that back in. Push that in there. Alright. And that is the spring. Alright, spring goes back on there too. Fits right back in there, like so. Okay. Now I got our tension back on there. Alright, next thing to do, hook this little bad boy up and see if we got some. Alright, as you can see, we're back up to almost 150 psi. It was just above that. No hissing anymore. That epoxy seems to have sealed that bolt and that washer, or not bolt, but the hex nut there to the washer, and we have a pretty tight seal. I don't hear much at all, maybe a really faint hiss, but you should have way better than without using that epoxy on there to seal that joint. So anyway, you need to fix your little Porter cable pancake compressor. They're only like 99 bucks, but great little thing, and hate to go and just throw this whole thing away just for one little piece. And did go online, and you can see that the pieces online are not cheap either, so I just kind of did our own little do-it-yourself fix on that one. And now we've got a totally new, brand new fixed Porter cable pancake compressor. And we're just going to go up here, and we'll take our Porter cable top here, put that back in. All right. Get that back on nice and tight. Now I got our screwdriver here. Just screw that back down in. And we're all good. Alright. So hopefully that helped you fix your Porter cable pancake compressor without having to go buy a new one or ditch the one that you got and fill up the landfill. And you're back in business. Thanks.